Hi there, so Honkai Star Rail is about to be officially released in a few days, and I'm sure you're already doing some preparations, maybe searching for some info, and maybe you already noticed that almost in every video we mentioned that some things might be changed or rebalanced before or during the official release of the game. Since this is just a perfect time and right after the game is officially released, right after anyone spends any money on any character, it will be really hard for developers to explain why did they change this character, but right now it's easy to do and they actually did it. So we'll be discussing those changes in this video. We'll be using Pride1GG for that, just because the info is delivered a bit simpler on this website, but if you want to get to the source, I'll leave the link in the description below. So let's start. Again, all the changes mentioned here are touching base 5-star characters and base light cones for those 5-star characters, but this is really good that they changed something, because again, after the release of the game, it really will be hard to change anything for any character, because there will be an argument that someone already spent money for this exact character without any changes. So the first character to discuss is Bronya, of course, and I'm sure you can agree that everyone was ready that Bronya will be, we don't know to what extent, but weaker than closed beta 3 Bronya. And actually, if this is the only change that will be implemented to Bronya on the official release of the game, we can say that she's much stronger than we could predict she will be, because the only thing that is changed to Bronya herself is a change to her skill, which we all can say that is the strongest aspect of her kit. And now if she's using her skill on herself, she won't be advancing forward by 100%. So again, this is actually a balancing thing, because with this ability to advance forward by 100%, like with Bronya herself, it could become an abuse. Without that, she is just a balanced, strong harmony 5-star character. And we even might say that if this ability will still be kept, and won't be reworked in future, it might be one of the strongest harmony characters in the game. Again, this is the only news we know for now. There is still some space for developers to change something else. You have to keep that in mind, but we already know that, for example, Bronya can't actually apply full scale of her skill on herself. So this is the first change. The second change is to Welt, and the change touches his ultimate, because previously with his ultimate he increased his damage by 25%. Now he will apply, as I can say, a debuff to the enemies, which will increase the damage they receive for some amount of turns. And actually, for Nihility character, this is much better. Again, I'm really skeptical, because at some point we might get for lots of the enemies immunity to these types of debuffs. So Welt will at some point, might become really bad. But again, he's an Nihility character. This is okay, and this is natural for him to apply debuffs. The thing is, buffing yourself is just a bit more stable, but anyway, in fact, this is up for this character, because now, for example, you can use really strong DPS Hunt character. You can use Welt's ultimate for both damage and debuffing, and then deal even more damage with your main DPS. About Himiko, we actually got a really big change to Himiko, because previously her trace was about dealing additional burn damage with her basic attack, but now it's just an attacks of Himiko, which is really different, because basic attack is just this thing you time to time do, while attacking with Himiko means both basic attack skill and even ultimate. So it's really good change. Now she can actually deal much more damage. Again, if it will be like this, if they won't change anything else. And this actually makes erudition characters which are considered to be not that usable, because you don't really need that much AoE damage to become a bit more useful. Maybe they'll even release some specific activities where you have to deal with few strong enemies, but again, there is some amount of them, not just one or two bosses. So this is a really good change. They are trying to do all the paths usable, and this is really cool. So with Himiko, it's really good that they actually rebalanced her. With All the other characters, the changes are not that significant, but again, we have the changes to light cones, which we also apply to those characters. So the changes to light cones are basically like the sub changes to the main characters. The first light cone we have is welts, and actually it's not that significant. We just have increase in 1% and decrease in other percentage. So like the weld is becoming more debuffing character, even though lots of people consider him to be like a real DPS character at some point for your main team at the start of the game. Now it's a bit different, but nothing that specific. About Jeopard, again, it's just increase of percentage because everyone considered Jeopard to be one of the weakest 5-star characters you can get from starter banner, as you're guaranteed from rerolling and everything else. So it's really good that they increase it. Keep in mind that this light cone you potentially might use on any preservation character. So if at some point they will release really strong 5-star preservation character, you may use Jeopard's light cone, even though it might not be the perfect fit, but anyway, this increase is really good. Then we have Himeko, and Himeko again gets boost. So she's boosted on the level of the character and also on the level of her light cone. And now she's increasing the attack depending on the amount of enemies on the field by 9%, not 8. It's really good because, again, if you have 5 enemies, it's 5 additional percents. And also we increase the damage a bit more. So at this point, they might really make erudition characters usable. Not like before, when you considered erudition characters as like the worst scenario of using DPS character because you have hunt and destruction. About Yanqing, I'm a bit sad because we just got his percents like lowered. Again, maybe I don't see something important here, but we now have only 30% crit damage compared to 32, and also we have only 36% crit rate compared to 40. I can say that Yanqing is super hyped character in terms of community. Of course, developers know better. Maybe they already see that this character is really strong, maybe even to the point when he competes to the time-limited Zilla. But I think, like, I already understand that this character is really strong. I want to use him, I want to summon for him and get him. But again, with this nerf, I think it's not that significant, but anyway, it's a bit sad. At least for me, again, you don't have to be really disappointed about that because the game is not out. They might do whatever they want actually with the characters. Next is Clara, and again, they are doing a really good job because this light cone may be potentially used on any destruction character, and it actually increases our HP restoration and attack. So this is really good for both Clara and in general destruction path characters, so can't complain about that. Also, we have Bronia's light cone, and this is the most interesting part because actually Bronia got better light cone now. Your energy regeneration rate is 10% instead of 8. Again, we can say that this is unique for Bronia. It's for any Harmony character, so you, for example, can use that on Asta. But anyway, in the end, taking into account that we were sure that Bronia will be weaker on the official release of the game compared to closed beta 3, we actually can say that she got stronger just a bit, again, taken into account that we already knew that she will be a bit weaker. And the last one is Bailu. Actually, she got like a good change because her base percentage is a bit higher, but now like we can see damage dealing potential is reduced, which is good because she is a healing character. Why should she actually do any damage or do any damage related things with her like skills? So this is all we know for now. Again, stay tuned because at some point we might get some additional changes, and it's really important because this might affect, for example, the characters you want to reroll for, or anything else, maybe your character's development. If at some point, for example, you get Bronia and you consider her to be much weaker and nerfed, maybe you don't actually have to develop her, even if you get her, for example, from 50 guaranteed from your starter banner. But for now, we can say that this is like that. Again, it's just a slight changes. All of them are good actually because they balance the characters. For example, if you get Himeka, you won't be disappointed that much. And at some point, again, it's only up to developers. They might do the activities which actually appreciate using erudition. Of course, we have farming already, but we can say that farming is like not that time consuming to actually like invest into, especially like first weeks of the game, invest into erudition characters just to farm a bit faster. So that's all for now. Share your opinions about those changes in the comment section below, and see you soon.